This is KSP with Tape, and today you join me for episode 2 of the Eeloo base series. Today I'm taking my first Kerbal to the surface of Eeloo. On the craft you see right now, because obviously right now it's launching on a fairly heavy launch stage, but yeah, considering I'm going to Eeloo, I'm kind of happy about it. I don't know what noise that was I just made, that kind of weird high-pitched squeak. But anyway, this is kind of an Apollo-style lander on top of another ship sort of thing. So it's quite heavy, and I have to kind of mince around with the fuel a bit later to actually get, to and from Eeloo. But you'll hopefully see that all, if you decide to watch it all, or maybe you think, well, this guy's awful, I'm going to go now, but please don't. Anyway, so yeah, that's the upper stage now, just pushing it into Kerbal orbit. And this launch stage does get it almost entirely into orbit. I just have to use a tiny bit of fuel from the top bit, from the actual craft. I always find that whenever I do a craft, whenever I build a interplanetary ship, the launch stage is always just not quite powerful enough. I always have to just use maybe 5 liters of fuel from the other interplanetary bit. But anyway, now I've skipped forward to the maneuver planning, because maneuver planning always takes me ages, so I've skipped through that. And here I'm just raising my orbit into a highly elliptical orbit, so that I don't have to. Oh yeah, so that I can. But if you break it down into 2 parts, it's a less hefty burn. As you can see, this is a almost 8-minute burn for 800 delta V. So I didn't want to do the full 2000 delta V burn in one. Additionally, I'd have to point downwards for quite a lot of the burn and probably deorbit. And given that I accidentally left deadly re-entry on, I was hoping kind of not to do that. And you can hear the. Well, you might not be able to. I'm not sure. I'm going to cut it out. But right now, I'm hearing the music at 4 times time accelerate, which is weird, and the engines at 4 times time accelerate, which sounds awful. But yeah, so I realised about now that deadly re-entry was on. I was like, God, I hope I don't deorbit, and forgot to turn it off until just before I came back to Kerbal. So I didn't want to burn up, because you don't burn up. Like if you with deadly re-entry, you don't actually need a heat shield from low orbit to deorbit, say, just a capsule, because it's not going fast enough to destroy the capsule. Oh, and I'm just using the inside the or nav ball inside the cockpit to get the precision, because you can zoom in on it. I find it quite useful. But anyway, deadly re-entry. You have to actually be going quite fast. You have to be going really fast for the capsule not to be enough to actually need a heat shield. So interplanetary, or from high orbit, or from the moon or something, then you'll need a heat shield. So I kind of made sure I turned it off before I screamed through the atmosphere. But anyway, I've almost done this burn. It's taken a while, even at 4 times time accelerate, which isn't ideal. And there are a lot of long burns in this video, but you get to see Eeloo and things for the first time. Oh no, not for the first time. I sent probes there last episode, but now a Kerbal walks on it and plants a flag and stuff, so be happy. Anyway, I've skipped through the planning again, and now I've got my interplanetary maneuver all planned out. So yeah, I'm gonna get right to that. And this is a 1200 delta V burn, so my whole Eeloo burn was about 2000 delta V, which is pretty hefty. And then there's 1000 delta V course correction, because they're on different planes. And then slowing down, then circularizing around Eeloo is about 2000 delta V. And then escape I got for about 80. It's a lot of delta V, really loads. So I want to take a station out there for refueling, but then taking a station out there, that's going to be a ridiculous amount of fuel. I'm going to have to. Jeez. I just realised how big a project this is. I was like, okay, Eeloo, that's pretty far away. And then I flew some stuff out there and was like, oh, this is pretty hard. Then I thought about space stations. I was like, shit. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, And you can see the Kethane map is still on there. I am thinking about using Kethane, partly because it is really interesting, partly because it now works on my computer, and partly because getting all that... because I can't keep shipping fuel out there. That'd be ridiculous. It would just be useful and might make I'm going to start again. Might make the series more interesting. And I did say in the last episode I didn't want to use mods because it made me try harder, but I don't know. If you have a view on it, feel free to comment. I mean, I'm not actually expecting anyone to actually give me input, but if you feel like you want to see where this goes, then you know, tell me. But I'm considering it. I mean, nothing's set in stone. I'm just planning my course correction there. There's 1300 delta V, pretty horrible, and then I have to fine tune, but I do that with RCS. Yeah, because the only real prerequisite for this series, I think that would be the word there. The only really set in stone prerequisite for this series is that I put a base on Eeloo. So I mean, and that it's in Kerbal space program. So that's the only real thing that has to happen. So I mean, I could do anything with it, aside from not put a base on Eeloo. Or yeah, no, anything could happen. Anyway, that's another long burn taking place. I actually did forget to put that at 4 times time accelerator at first, and it was horrifying to watch. But anyway, everything's fixed now. Although a bit later in this video, well, not in this video, when I was playing, I mean, there was about 2 hours worth of footage, and more of that of gameplay. So by the end of this, I was a little tired. I mean, I enjoyed it; it was fun. I always like doing this because I love KSP. But I mean, it was a lot of stuff, and then my computer started kind of crashing and not really working. I mean, I've cut it all out of the video, so it should be pretty smooth. But you know, there are issues with playing. I mean, Kerbal Space Program crashes quite a bit. I mean, a lot of the stuff has been fixed, and I find it does run better on Windows and with my new graphics card, so that's all great. Anyway, I've got my encounter, and I'm just kind of fine-tuning it now. At 72 million meter periaps, which I will, periaps, which I will fix later. And because I have conic... I'm going to start again. That was a really even weirder noise. Yeah, maybe I should have just... Yeah, okay. Anyway, I have conic patch mode on 0. So it makes it easier to fine-tune where I'm going. And you might notice kind of all throughout this video, there's like this the screen capture, the screenshot, this little screenshot notification keeps coming up because what's on my loading? Oh yeah, I was trying to focus on Eeloo, but I accidentally switched to one of the probes I sent out there. But yeah, the screenshot function keeps coming up at the bottom of my screen. It's because I'm using Fraps now, and I'm always really paranoid that it's not recording. So I keep turning on the frame rate indicator, which tells you if it's recording. And that's the same button as screenshot in Steam. So that's wonderful. But you can see this is conic patch mode 0, so you get this kind of where you're going to be actually next to the planet, so it makes it really easy to fine-tune, which I really like. Yeah, so I'm just RCS fine-tuning. And it's not shaking around as much as when I did the probes. If you saw that episode, you'd know that it was just going absolutely insane. It was almost impossible to do. But anyway, I've skipped the warping because that took way too long, and now I'm putting some of the fuel, well, most of the fuel from the lander into the main craft, because I took quite a lot on the lander, but kind of had an intention that it could be used in the main craft, and Eeloo's pretty low gravity, so it's, it's fine. Everything works out fine. I mean, you can use an RCS pack on it, so it's... I'm not sure how much gravity it has in comparison to the moon, but not a huge amount, I don't think. I think they're not that dissimilar, and that's probably why it doesn't have a moon or an atmosphere, or kind of... Yeah, Eeloo's a little bit... It's just kind of that ice ball that's... Well, I picked it because it's a challenge, and because I think it's an underrated planet. I think Eeloo and Dres are way underrated. I mean, Moho is right near the sun and has the Mohole, so everyone's like, oh, that's cool. Eve, crazy thick atmosphere, big challenge. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Eve's awesome. And obviously Kerbin. People like Kerbin because we're on Kerbin. Well, Kerbals are on Kerbin. We're on Earth. If you didn't know, we're on Earth. Juna, well, that's like Mars, and it's close and it's easy, and I did that big mission there, so obviously that's a massive thing in the KSP community. Obviously, all of my videos are really pushing the boundaries. But no, and then Drez, everyone's like, oh, screw Drez. I've seen one mission to Drez, and that was Harv. I think Harv did a mission there once. Then what is there? I think it goes to Jewel, and that's awesome because it's the only gas giant. It has all those moons. And then you get to Eeloo, and I was like, well, that's really far away, and it's just icy. I think it's awesome, and I think if you're going to do a Hoth-based series, you'll do it here. Anyway, I stopped burning for a little time there, just to get closer, because as you burn, your periaps get slightly further away from you or something. I don't know. My maneuver node kind of became redundant. So, yeah. Oh, it's because I burnt downwards quite a lot, and what is happening with my camera? At 4 times, my camera work was awful. Because I was just doing it so I could kind of work out what was happening, but now I'm watching it at 4 times time accelerator. I'm like, geez, I was jolty as hell. But yeah, that's in orbit, so now I will probably stay around Eeloo. Well, definitely, unless... Well, not definitely, maybe I'll get hit by a probe and knocked out of orbit. Or maybe I'll involuntarily litho brake. That basically means I'll hit the floor without, you know, wanting to. Anyway, so I'm going to bring it down to a low orbit, around 32 and 28, because then getting up to there with the lander won't take much fuel, and I get maximum use out of the O-berth effect when I go home. So we're getting Jebediah Kerman out, because, well, Jeb has to go to the surface. And I think I'll try to use... I really want to stop using the commanders so much, because I think they're awesome, but, you know, people need to see other things. And now I've realized, because there's the only power supply, the only power generator I brought was 1 RTG on the lander. So I was just checking over the main craft there and wondering why it was losing power. But yeah, I only brought 1 RTG. I screwed up. I didn't put enough kind of thought and precision into this mission, so it went a little wrong. And now I'm warping around the planet so that I can land in the day fairly near that probe. Not exactly on it, because that's difficult. See, I put so much effort into this series. I don't want to do that. That sounds difficult. But no, I mean, you know, I want to put somewhere near the probe so that the probe mission didn't look pointless. And because those looked like good landing spots, they took me like a little while to pick. So, you know. Anyway, we're coming in, and on the night side, so I apologize for it being dark, but it was only brief, and I don't think it looks that bad. I mean, as long as the whole mission isn't there, you can't yell at me. Well, you can don't feel free to. Don't yell at me. I'm awesome. Leave me alone. Anyway, now we're just rocketing across the surface. I cannot speak today, and then to make up for not speaking, I make weird noises. I don't know. I'm not doing well today. It's I'm recording this on Children in Need Day, I think. If you're in America, you probably don't know what that is. Do they have that in America? Not sure. It's basically a charity thing for helping underprivileged children. So I'm in 6th form, so we all, which is, oh god, I don't know what that would be in an American education system. America and Britain have a different education system, but we all dressed up as things from films and TVs, and I went as the Joker, so that was a lot of fun. And I still have kind of a bit of black makeup around my eyes, so I kind of look like I'm just wearing eyeliner. Yep. Painting a good picture. You heard it here first, folks. And then I got off the ladder and I sprung back up. I don't know, I think I landed on the springboard. But anyway, we're down on Eeloo. Finally, we have put a man here after like 2 episodes. And planted a flag. The first Kerbal Eeloo. Nailed it. I didn't nail the spelling. I just called it the first Kerbal Eeloo. I meant to put the first Kerbal on Eeloo, but I'm pretty damn sure I just put the first Kerbal Eeloo. So yeah, I didn't do so very well at that. Okay, I'm just gonna get back in the thing and go because I'm screwing up flags. Well, that was an awesome jump at 4 times. That looked cool. Anyway, that's all done. Now let's wait for the ship to come back around. Yeah, there it is. That'll probably do. I'll probably hit that. Ditch those because I don't want to be carrying dead weight, because I'm going to need whatever fuel I can get out of this to get home. Yeah, thinking about it, jeez, I did actually need... If I hadn't... Yeah, it was a pretty fine mission, I mean. You'll see later, I mean, I was pretty low on fuel when I get back. Yeah. But, you know, stick around for that. You can't leave. I'm not going to tell you the ending. Anyway. So we're getting pretty close, and I'm just killing relative velocity, and now just kind of figuring out how I can get close. And there you go, there's my intersect at, I think I get it down to like 2.5. You want to get it close but not bang on, and then you want to slow down then fine tune. That's how I usually do it. Although I've gotten more kind of just go up and dock, because docking, when you first start playing, docking seems impossible. And then you play for a while, and docking still seems impossible. Then you try docking, and it's really hard. But then you figure it out, and it's okay, and it takes a little while, and you have to do lots of things. And then, what I've realized, what I've kind of started doing, if you watch the first... Oh, pause, yeah, that was only brief. Okay, I didn't need to cut that out. But, if you watch my first episode of Project Juna, I did so many dockings just so quickly, and I got quite proud of that, because I just kind of just flew up, did it, and had docked in like half an orbit, so it was so quick, and I had to dock so many things, I just had to kind of perfect it. So, I mean, I'm not perfect, and I'm not brilliant, but I think I've gotten just generally better. But anyway, I'm switching over to the other ship, and just flicking it around, and it does make it easier just to point your the two ships together when you got small things. When it's a station, you have to fly around a bit, but you know, it all works out fine, except when you do that. As I was just bragging about docking and then completely miss. But yeah, no, I mean, if you're having trouble with docking, then just kind of keep doing it, it's easier. But now it gets easier, is what I meant to say. Now I'm refueling everything, especially the RCS, because I kind of worried that I might actually need that. And now I drift into the dark side, quickly move Jebediah Kerman across, and use the lights to make it less kind of a horrible video to watch. I'm always paranoid about doing videos in the dark. But anyway, I'm not even in the dark, the sun's just so far away. Actually, that's another problem. Power generation. Because I'm so far away from the sun, solar cells aren't as effective, so I will either need huge solar arrays, or, if I do use kethane, I think there's like kethane generators, which you fuel with kethane, and then that kind of, then they create electricity, which I think is quite cool. But anyway, this is only a 6-minute burn now that I've dropped that piece of now I've dropped the lambda. This is kind of much faster acceleration. Even at one times it was kind of, well, it was still quite slow, but compared to everything else I'd done, it was the freaking like ray of light, sunlight. I was like, yes, this was so quick. But anyway, and at 4 times it looks even better. But it's and there's a kethane grid. Maybe I'll send a kethane satellite out here. Although I think if I do, I'll send it with like some missions where I actually start putting base down, because I kind of want to start doing that soon. So it's not kind of just exploring Eeloo, it actually is an Eeloo based series. But anyway, it looks like I plan to get a maneuver with like, I think 2 maneuvers. Plan to get an encounter with 2 maneuvers. It was a high energy transfer. I mean, I could have done it with less delta V, but yeah, I actually had quite a bit left. It's more than I thought I would. And everything works out relatively fine. You'll have to keep watching to find out. Anyway, and I am using MechJeb on this. I accidentally left it on for my tests, and then I thought, I don't use it that much, and it's just a helpful utility. So I leave it on, and then what happened there? My screen's just gone grey. Wait, what? 1 second. Yeah, sorry for that blip in my commentary. I don't really know what happened. My editing software decided that it would just kind of stop playing the next bit of the video. I hope it's not too disjointed, but everything's fine, and we've just got my close approach. So, yeah. So that will require a fine-tune, but I did get that. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I know in real life, there's a maneuver planned instantly for you. Took quite a long time for me. And then I realized that one of my fine-tune maneuvers would be kind of much better done at the Apoaps, because it's 25 delta V rather than 200. I kind of had that inspiration when I was thinking, wow, I'm just illogical as hell. So, you know, but I'm completely out of electric charge, which I realized. So I'm like, oh crap, how will I orientate? And instead of using RCS like a logical person, I create power with the nuclear engine. Just kind of, it worked fine. I just kind of realized that, oh yeah, I could have used that. And I do in the future when I realize it. But anyway, everything works out fine. And look, Jeb happy as hell, and Bob and Bill scared as hell. And at 4 times time accelerate, jerking their heads like psychopaths. But anyway, now let's warp to the maneuver. I'm not sure if I cut the warp out. No, it wasn't that long. Random screenshot? Okay. Oh, it's because I don't know why I screenshotted that. No, I didn't. It's unintentional. It's because the screenshot button, as I've said, is tied into a fraps button. Anyway, oh yeah, I left this in because I just kind of wanted to illustrate that the warp is so slow. This is at 4 times time accelerate, with 100,000 times time accelerate. So this is 400,000 times. But for me, this was incredibly slow, and even in the video, it's quite slow. It's just that's another thing. Missions are so long. You can see in the top, it's coming up to 500 days for a mission. So that's why we need a base there. So you have a long journey out there, and my high energy transfer was actually pretty quick, considering. So you go out there, you land on Eeloo, take a nice little couple of year rest, and then fly back. That's the plan. I will, hopefully be moving crew around occasionally. But anyway, I'm burning with RCS and the engines because, well, I'm running low on fuel, and RCS has a lower specific impulse, and has a lower specific impulse, so you want to burn that off as much as possible for efficiency. Anyway, now I decide a fine tune will be best, but I can't seem to get a maneuver clicking down, and you can see me clicking crazily. But I don't know, maybe it's because I've been messing with conic patch mode so much. Anyway, so I decided to do it manually. So yeah, that's pretty close, but I want to get it really near so that I can, no, actually in the atmosphere, so it slows me down. And now I'm trying to fine tune, but I have no idea what's happening. I don't realize I'm tilted at like a 45-degree angle, so then I readjust it. And there we go. That'll be coming into the atmosphere, well, actually into the surface. So I'll be hitting pretty fast, but everything should be fine. And for God's sake, 1 second. Yeah, my thing did it again, and that was annoying. Anyway, so you join me back at the you join me, and I've just skipped the warp to Kerbal because I didn't want to have to show all warping again. But anyway, I realized I don't pack any parachutes, so that was stupid as hell. So I'm just gonna aero brake. I dipped into 28 kilometers above the surface. That's how bad this was. No, that's how fast I was going even. And that about slows me down. You can see the awesome burning effect. It was so cool, and I'm so glad I didn't have deadly re-entry on. But anyway, I forgot parachutes, so I will have to send up some people to rescue this. But that will be in the next episode, because, well, this has kind of gone on long enough, and it's in a ridiculous orbit, so it's gonna be a little bit of work, but it'll just be maybe the start bit for the next episode or something. I'll just get it done kind of quick. And then move into something. And, oh, for God's sake, 1 second. Yeah, I'm sure you will have guessed my computer did it again, because fuck this. Anyway, so yeah, this has been episode 2 of Project Eeloo. I will be doing more things in the next episode with Project Eeloo, obviously. Or Eeloo base, and rescuing this craft very briefly. If you like this If you like this video, feel free to like this video, and comment and subscribe if you want to see more and stuff. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.